Everyone in the mansion knew that Adrian Cole, the cold and calculating billionaire CEO of coal industries, never smiled. He was a man of few words, razor-sharp suits, and a heart that many swore was made of ice. But one quiet afternoon, a shy maid named Lily walked into his life, and unknowingly melted that ice forever. It all began the day Adrian decided to pretend to sleep, and saw something that made his entire world stop. The story begins. Lily had only been working at the Cole mansion for 3 weeks, but already the other maids whispered about her. "She's too quiet," one said. "She won't last long," another added. But what they didn't know was that Lily wasn't shy because she didn't care. She was shy because life had taught her to keep her head down. Her mother had fallen ill, her younger brother needed school fees, and this job was their only lifeline. Every dollar she earned went home. Every smile she gave was forced through exhaustion. Still, every morning she greeted the mansion with quiet dignity. She moved gracefully through the grand halls, dusting, cleaning and tending to Adrian Cole's private study, the room no one dared to linger in. The CEO and his silence. Adrian had noticed her, of course. He noticed everything. She was different from the rest, never gossiping, never seeking attention. While others looked at him with fear or admiration, Lily's eyes held something else, compassion. One day, while she was cleaning, she noticed a photo frame turned face down on his desk. When she gently lifted it to dust beneath, she saw a picture of a woman and a little boy, both smiling, both gone from his life. She froze, her eyes soft with sympathy, before quietly placing it back as it was. What she didn't know was that Adrian had been standing in the doorway, watching her. For the first time in years, someone had looked at that photo without asking questions or showing pity. She had simply cared. The test. The next morning, Adrian did something he'd never done before. He stayed home. He cancelled his meetings and waited in his study, pretending to nap on the couch while Lily came in to clean. He wanted to see who she truly was when no one was watching. As Lily entered, she tiptoed across the marble floor, glancing nervously at the man who paid her wages. She thought he was asleep. So she cleaned quietly, dusting the bookshelves, wiping his desk, adjusting the curtains to let in a soft beam of light. Then she noticed his hand. It was clenched tight, like someone holding onto invisible pain. She hesitated. Then gently she reached out, and with trembling fingers placed a small handmade charm beside him. A tiny fabric heart sewn from scraps of her own handkerchief. "I hope you sleep well today, sir," she whispered, almost inaudible. "You deserve peace too." Adrian's breath caught. He couldn't move. He couldn't speak. No one had said words like that to him in years. The awakening. After Lily left, Adrian sat up slowly and picked up the tiny heart. It wasn't perfect. The stitches were uneven, the fabric a bit worn, but it was real, it was human. That night he couldn't stop thinking about her quiet kindness, her gentle tone, her hands trembling as she worked. The next day he found himself walking down to the kitchen, something he'd never done before. "Lily," he said quietly. She turned, nearly dropping the dishes in her hands. "Mr. Cole, I'm sorry I didn't." He raised a hand. "You don't need to apologize." There was silence for a moment, then softly he said, "Thank you for the charm." Her eyes widened. "You were awake." He nodded, unable to hold back a small smile. "Partially, and I saw more than you realize." Her cheeks turned pink, her eyes falling to the floor. "I just thought you looked tired." "No one ever said that to me," he murmured. "Not since," he trailed off, pain flickering in his gaze. Lily didn't press him. She simply nodded, then whispered, "Sometimes the people who seem strongest are the ones who need kindness most." The past unfolds. Over the weeks that followed, Adrian found excuses to see her more often, asking for tea, small cleaning tasks, even conversations about her family. He learned about her sick mother, her little brother's dreams of becoming a doctor, her exhaustion from night shifts at the hospital before coming to the mansion each morning. And Lily learned about him too, about his late wife, Clara, and their son, Michael, who had died in a car accident 5 years ago, the day Adrian's heart had shut down. He confessed that he buried himself in work because it was easier than feeling. Lily's eyes filled with tears. You didn't stop loving them, she said softly. You just stopped believing anyone else could understand. Her words cracked something open inside him. The turning point. One rainy night, Lily stayed late to help close the mansion windows. The storm had grown fierce, and the staff had already gone home. When she went to leave, the streets were flooded. Adrian found her standing by the door, clutching her bag, looking lost. You can't walk in that, he said firmly. Stay here, I'll have the guest room prepared. I don't want to trouble you, she whispered. You already have, he said quietly. You made me feel again. Lily's heart pounded. That night she sat by the fire in the guest room, staring into the flames, wondering what fate was doing to her. Because she knew something she hadn't told him, her mother's illness had worsened, and she might have to quit soon. The goodbye. A week later, Lily handed in her resignation. Adrian froze as he read the letter. You're leaving, his voice was calm, but his hands trembled slightly. I have to, she said. My mother needs me full-time. I can't stay away anymore. He took a deep breath. How much? Her brow furrowed. What? How much do you need for her treatment? Tears welled in her eyes. Sir, I can't accept that. Lily, he interrupted softly. You gave me peace when I thought I'd never feel it again. Let me do something for you. She shook her head, sobbing. You already have. And with that, she left. The miracle. Months passed, the mansion felt emptier than ever. Adrian went back to work, but his mind was never far from the girl who had mended his soul with a tiny stitched heart. One morning he received a letter, handwritten, with the same careful strokes he remembered. Dear Mr. Cole, Mama is recovering. Your kindness gave us hope when we had none. I wanted you to know that we're okay now. I pray you find someone to remind you to smile, just as you reminded me that kindness still exists. It's Lily. He held that letter for a long time. Then he did something no one expected. He opened a new division of his company, the Clara Foundation, named after his late wife, dedicated to helping low-income families afford medical care. At the launch event, reporters asked what inspired him. Adrian smiled, a real, unguarded smile, and said, A maid once showed me that kindness costs nothing, but it can change everything. The reunion. A year later, at the hospital his foundation helped rebuild, he saw her again. Lily wearing a volunteer's badge, handing out food to patients with her warm, shy smile. Their eyes met across the room. Neither spoke at first. Then Adrian whispered, You were right, the strongest people do need kindness most. She smiled softly, and the loneliest hearts can still learn to love again. They both laughed quietly, because sometimes life brings people together in the most unexpected ways, not to stay forever, but to remind each other that compassion is never wasted.